Okay, so here's the situation. Your life is your work, and your work is your life. The Board of Trustees make some questionable decisions, bit of corruption up there, and they close down the company you work for. And they decide to liquidate most of the assets. Your best friend is burned, quite horribly, and it's probably your fault. Your mentor decides to go live in the swamp, and you're staring down the barrel of a midlife crisis. Yep, we're painting Obi-Wan Kenobi. So welcome to another episode of Blastercaded Painting. Today we're going to be painting Obi-Wan Kenobi out of hiding from Star Wars Shatterpoint by Atomic Mass Games. Let's do it. So we're going to give this guy a prime of white all over, then we're going to move over to brown Dubai. This is going to go all over his cloak and his pants. So I noticed that the scale colors maybe don't cover as well, so you might have to do 2 thin coats of this, or just pick a different brown that's better. Then we're going to take some bone white. Now this is going to go all over his tunic he's wearing under his cloak. So the pose makes it a little difficult to get into some of these areas, so just take your time. It's also going to go on the wrappings right above his boots. Now we're going to switch over to some tan. Now this is going to go all over his boots and all over his belt, which is right underneath where his arms are sticking out, so it's another little tricky spot to get to. Also, this is the very definition of a utility belt, because it's over his tunic, which means it's not helping in any way to hold up his pants, so it's just there for pockets, and pouches, I guess, and hanging things off of. Because, again, it's not holding up his pants. Now we're going to take some bronze flesh tone here. Now this is obviously going to go all over his flesh area, so his face, his ears, and his hands. Also his neck. Don't forget his neck. And we're going to take some Parasite Brown. Now this is going to go all over his beard, his hair, and his mustache. Now we're going to switch over to some soft tone by the Army Painter, and this is going to go all over the miniature, all over his clothing, his boots, his shirt, his cloak. We're just going to leave the beard and the face untouched, but this is going everywhere else. So get it all on there, get it all shaded down, and try to make sure it doesn't pool too much. Now we're going to take some Berserker Blood Shade, and this is going all over his skin and his hair. So again, make sure it doesn't pool too much, and just get it all shaded. So we're going to take some brown Dubai and some khaki, and we're going to use some straight brown Dubai as our first highlight. Then we're going to slowly start adding in some khaki as we do our lighter layers. So again, this is going to be the highlight up on all his pants and his cloak. Now we've added in a little bit of khaki here to lighten up that brown Dubai, and we're going through for our second layer here. So this is just going to be a little bit thinner than the last layer. We're going to leave those recesses dark. Just going to go through and start adding in our highlights here. And we're going to add in a little bit more khaki, and this is going to be the most extreme highlight here, so that we're going to still leave all those layers behind. This is going to be mostly just a thinner line on the highest regions. And we're going to take our tan and we're going to do our first highlight up on those boots and his belt. And we're going to add in some of that khaki and just do a second highlight up on all those areas. Now we're going to switch over to some bone white, and this is going to be our first highlight up on his tunic here. So again, we're leaving the recesses dark and just getting those raised areas. And we want to make sure we also get these wrappings down on his ankles. So we're going to take some dead white and we're going to add that into our bone white, and we're going to do a last highlight up on all this tunic and ankle wrappings. Now we're going to switch back to our bronze flesh tone here, and we're going to do our first highlight up on his face and hands and neck and his ears. Now we're going to add a little bit of elf skin tone into that bronze flesh tone, and we're going to do our second highlight up. So we're still leaving some of that bronze flesh tone showing, and we're leaving the recesses dark and just going through and highlighting up those areas. And now this is just the straight elf skin tone, and this is going to be our highest highlight for his skin. Now we're going to take our parasite brown, we're going to put this on neat, just regular, and we're going to highlight up all his hair, his beard, and his mustache there. We're going to add in a little bit of orange fire to that parasite brown, and we're just going to do up our second highlight. And I apologize for how blurry it is. I don't know. It's Sunday. Can't film right. And we're going to add in a little bit more orange fire and do our last highlight up on that hair. Now we're going to take some Gravelord Gray real quick, and we're just going to do the hilt of his lightsaber. This is how I do pretty much all the hilts of their lightsabers, so I could probably skip this step, but I'm showing it anyway. I will put a link in the description below to my Ahsoka video where you can see how I do the lightsabers for all my Shatterpoint miniatures. Put a base on this guy and he is done. And for all things considered, he turned out really good. I mean, it's a lot of browns and earthy tones, but I'm very happy with how he turned out. I like the miniature. It's not like a crazy sculpt or anything. It's good. I really enjoyed painting it. Nothing like when the Guardians of Peace and Justice get beaten down a little bit to make them all flee and hide. That's the Guardians of Peace and Justice way. Hide in the swamp and desert. Obviously, I know that Obi-Wan had a job to do. He was watching Luke. Not sure what Yoda's job was. To make root leaf stew in the swamp and just wait. Seems like he could have had a job. He could have had more to do. Everybody knows the Jedi motto: when things get tough, give up. That's their motto. Pretty sure. Either way, thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all of the YouTube stuff, and you guys have a great day. And next we're going to take some Pear Tight Brown. Did you guys want to get a bottle of Pear Tight Brown at the store? Let's go to the game store and get a bottle of Pear Tight Brown. Parasite Brown. Good grief. Also, can we talk about how Obi-Wan just meets Qui-Gon's ghost standing in the desert? Like he says, I've just been waiting for you. I've always been here waiting for you. He's just hanging out in the desert. It's like honestly, like, when is this chump gonna get here? Oh, I'd be so annoyed as a ghost. I would be so annoyed if I had to wait in the desert, just waiting for somebody to get here. Let him go on an adventure first, then he'll figure it out. I wouldn't be happy about it.